everybody, Ben Woodruff here with another falconry video. And today's video is going to be a fun one, just really quick, talking about how merlins are arguably the easiest and most effective raptor to enter in. I'll explain what that means. But if you haven't already, if you could please hit subscribe, it really helps me with this channel. YouTube loves to unsubscribe people randomly, so double check. If you have subscribed, they might have unsubscribed you. It's kind of one of those odd things they do. But this video, I want to talk about it because merlins are really kind of amazing birds. And when we're talking about entering, and what entering is training a bird to hunt game. And I'll explain what that means in a second. But first of all, let's back up a little bit, especially if you're new to falconry. No matter what bird you're getting, whether it's captive bred, whether it's an IS, a baby you pull from the wild, or it's a passage bird, a young adult, sorry, not an adult, a young, fully fledged bird out of its parents' care, migrating through, whatever it may be, that bird, there's certain training techniques. They're kind of across the board, right? You're first typically training them to sit on your fist, and if they jump off, to get back up. That's called manning. And then, of course, the next step is usually having them eat off of your glove, and then to hop to your glove, step to your glove, hop to your glove, fly to your glove, fly outside your glove. And then from there, maybe you're training them to come to a lure, different things. It depends on the species and what you're doing. But whatever that is, there comes a point when it is time to enter your bird on quarry. So entering, is the stage where through whatever technique you're going on, you're like, all right, I'm training you to be a hunting partner. Let's go hunt. So, okay, this is a goshawk. We're going to teach you to catch a pheasant, or your red-tailed hawk. We're going to go catch a rabbit. Kestrel, there's a starling. Go catch it. Golden eagle. We're going to go catch a goose or a rabbit. Whatever. Peregrine falcon, dive down and hit a sage grouse. Whatever it may be, the entering process is going from this bird kind of being reliant on you for food and having built that trust, and then redirecting the food aggression and the food direction towards quarry, towards prey, towards hunting. And when we are doing that, when you are entering a bird, this isn't about how to enter, but there's kind of two side factors that factor in why I say that merlins are in the middle when it comes to being the easiest raptor to enter. So the first is, what are you hunting? And the second is, how are you hunting? So what are you hunting? Like, what quarry are you going after? Now, that can be a little bit tricky, and it's why it's kind of an interesting stage of training. For example, if you trapped a passage red-tailed hawk, probably its whole life it's just been eating mice and gophers and voles, little things, little rodents, and it was content to do so. And you're like, let's hunt rabbits. And it's like, I mean, that's a big jump. It's like, we got our red-tailed hawks in Utah aren't that big. And a big black-tailed jackrabbit weighs more than they do. That's intimidating. When you used to be like, I caught a mouse. And now it's like, I'm going to catch a rabbit. That's a huge change. Even for a kestrel to go after a starling. None of these things are out of the range of what is normal. But a lot of times falconers are teaching their bird to push up a little in their hunting attempts. And again, there's nothing unnatural about that, but it is a process that normally might not have happened. Okay, like kestrels, for example. Kestrels do hunt birds in the wild. Not often. They would rather hunt insects and mice. But they do hunt birds, just not regularly. Some individuals more than others, but usually you see that behavior starting late in their first winter or second spring of life, right? Where they're like, oh, geez, times are hard, or baby birds are easy, once you get into that phase to catch. So it's a later thing. You are introducing that earlier. Usually a falconer getting a new bird it's early fall that you're training them. And so they haven't felt the harshness of cold weather. And so entering in some of these prey things you are training your bird to go after are a little bit intimidating. And on the other end, your flight style that you are going to do might require a lot of extra training that isn't necessarily difficult, but requires more training and more time. For example, teaching a falcon to wait on. Let's say you trapped a migrating prairie falcon. And that prairie falcon, it hunted birds, and it was good at, all kinds of weird chases going after horned larks and the occasional dove, birds like that, but it also still hunted from a perch like a red-tailed hawk and caught a lot of mice and rats and kangaroo rats, things like that. And now you are trying to train it. It's not intimidated by a pigeon. Maybe you caught it with a pigeon, but if you're going to go have it hunt pigeons, you're probably going to train it to wait on. That is a set of training techniques that is going to take some time, where your minds and understanding can come together and you both realize, okay, I'm going to go upwind, circle above the falconer, come back over and wait, and then he's going to throw up a pigeon or he's going to flush a pheasant. So that's not so much that the prey is intimidating to the falcon, so much as you're having a lot of extra steps going into the entering in phase that you wouldn't have. Where a red-tailed hawk, it's mostly like, hey, they trust me, they know how to pursue directly, I want them to pursue a rabbit. So it's just overcoming that hurdle of intimidation. So, merlins. So, these are our two sides, our two factors. Merlins are the easiest raptor to enter in, because what they are, their hunting style, most falconers, regardless of what you're going to do, they have a huge range of experience doing everything already. You catch a migrating merlin, it has chased into the brush, it has chased through a tree, it has dove from huge heights, it has sat on a pole and waited and hedgehawked things that were popping out in and out of pallets and stuff. It's done everything. And it's probably hunted the kind of prey you're going to go after. Most merlin hawkers flying a merlin are usually going after starlings. I like to do pigeons, doves too, and quail, but pigeons are my favorite thing to hunt with merlins, because that's kind of pushing the boundary with them. But normally, you're going after starlings. Starlings are fast, they're powerful, they're maneuverable, so are merlins. Merlins are the most incredible size. They're big enough, I've said this in videos about them before, they're big enough that they have lots of momentum. Once they get going, they're unstoppable. It's like they have a jetpack, and all it is just directing which, how the jetpack is going. But they're little. They're little enough that the drag and the weight restrictions are not there that you have on bigger falcons. So they're just this super premium, amazing hunter that's like big enough to be small and small enough to be big. You know what I'm saying? So really the entering in phase is not training them to do a new hunting style, like training a prairie falcon to wait on, or a new prey item that might be difficult, like getting a red tail to go after a rabbit. Instead, you're like, hey, you were in the wild, I took you from the wild, spent a week or whatever getting you trained, so you trust me, and now you're just going back and doing what you were always doing before. You're hunting the same prey and in the same ways. Even merlin trainers who do like to train them to wait on or do like to do something specific, even so, I've never yet met a merlin enthusiast who didn't applaud a merlin doing its own thing. If it does its own thing and has success, great. They'll always surprise you. They've got a million tricks in their book of what they can pull out at the last minute and try something new. And it's like, hey, I went out flying, the bird had an amazing flight, caught some prey, we're going home. You're happy. But that's what they were doing in the wild already. So merlin falconry in that way really is the purest form in a sense. By one definition. I know there's a million definitions, but by one definition we say, oh, we don't train them to hunt. No. They already know how to hunt and they do it every day on their own. We just take them, build a relationship of trust, and then let them go do what they were already doing in the wild. That is true, but with merlins, it's more true than with any other raptor, in my opinion. Because other than, like I said, they kill pigeons in the wild too, but me pushing them to hunt pigeons and quail is a little bit of a push-up, but not as much as getting a red-tailed hawk that was hunting mice to go after a 10-pound jackrabbit. That is a much bigger jump. It is easy, it is quick, and I'll tell you how quick. I had a little Jack Merlin, Richardson's subspecies that I flew for several seasons. This is his second year, and he trained very quickly. He trained in about 5 days, and I was free, and I went out, and I did my first outdoor flight on a long leash, long crayons, and I did one flight, and he was so instantaneous to the lure. I'm like, oh, I trust him. I think we're in a good zone. So I went ahead, took the clip off, so he was totally free. And as I was walking away from the perch he was on, I turned around and he looked over to the side, whoa, and he flew off and he chased down a starling, caught it, took it to the ground, and I went over and I picked him up. And I'm like, he's not even done being trained. And he's taken off and going and catching quarry. And it was amazing. Like, because you're really remember the rule I always say. This isn't my rule, but many falconers like to preach this, and I do too. You will have the most success in falconry flying a bird that is native to your area on quarry that is native to your area, that is quarry that raptor species naturally and regularly hunts in the wild. So, like, you're going to have more luck if, like, where I live, if I got a Cooper's hawk and hunted it on quail, we got lots of Cooper's hawks, lots of quail, and Cooper's hawks love to hunt quail in the wild. Same thing. Got merlins in my area, got lots of starlings. Merlins love to hunt starlings. Perfect, easy, super fun. And you just have a lot of success. You can do all different kinds of falconry. You know that if you watch my channel. I have a video on how to train harriers in falconry, and owls, which is as weird as you can get. But still, I just want to, for the record, say my personal experience is there is no raptor easier to enter in successfully and quickly after first getting your bird than a merlin on sparrows and starlings. Absolutely love them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope gives you thought about consideration with different species you may think about getting and what quarries you might pursue. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the video and what your experiences with merlins have been. And as always, happy hawking.